In today's video, what we're going to talk about is this. You need to fire your boss immediately. Okay? Listen to me. You need to fire your boss immediately. That's right. You know the boss, him or her, that you go to work and see every single day. It doesn't matter whether you absolutely love your current boss or whether you absolutely hate your current boss. You need to fire your boss immediately. Let's talk about it. Welcome to another episode of Career Strategies. My name is Rodney Hughes, Mr. 100%, and the purpose of this podcast is to teach you ideas, strategies, and concepts that can help you exponentially advance your career. Today's podcast is being brought to you by the 7 Deadly Resume Mistakes, which is a free resume writing course that you could take advantage of at www.resumemistakes.com. In this particular course, you're going to discover how to avoid making the 7 deadly mistakes that cause most candidates to fail miserably when writing a professional resume. So if you'd like to take advantage of this free course, head on over to www.resumemistakes.com. Again, that's www.resumemistakes.com. And if this is your first time joining us at the podcast, thank you so much for coming and checking this out. Hopefully you'll get great value. Do me a favor, make sure you subscribe because I'm going to share some great content with you on a regular basis. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. So again, I want you, matter of fact, not I just want you, but how about this? You need to fire your boss immediately. Now, first, let me give a quick disclaimer. Okay. Now, when I say fire your boss, what I am not saying, okay, is that you need to quit your job. That is not what I'm saying. That is not what the purpose of this podcast is. I don't want you to take it out of context, and hopefully you didn't just run with the intro to this podcast and say, you know what? I don't even need to hear anymore. I'm going to fire my boss tomorrow. That is not what I want you to do, my friend. Okay. Here's what I want you to understand. Firing your boss has nothing to do with quitting your job. Firing your boss is about reclaiming your power. Okay. So let me start by explaining what I mean when I say you need to fire your boss immediately. The big problem that I see, okay, and I could be off base with this. Keep that in mind. I'm not always right. As a matter of fact, I'm wrong most of the time. It seems like, at least. But when I study and when I pay attention to people, that's something that I've liked doing over the years. It's just kind of observing people, and I also observe myself. And one of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of people do the same thing. Well, a lot of people get caught up in habit, right? So we're creatures of habit. And so a lot of times when people become of working age, whether that's right after high school, whether it's right after college, or whenever it may be, when people enter into the workforce, it's only a matter of time before they start assimilating to the societal norms of the workplace. Okay. And what I mean by that is that there is typically a power structure that is commonplace when it comes to working for an organization. Okay. And in that power structure, there is a position, right? In most cases, it's not an actual title, but there is a person within that org chart that typically has the label of being the boss, whoever that is, him or her. Okay. And for you, whoever your boss, quote unquote, is, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to fire that person immediately. Okay. And what I mean when I say that is I want you to reclaim your power. And what I mean when I say reclaim your power is what most bosses do is they set out a strategy for an employee to execute in order to accomplish a particular goal. Okay. And one of the things that I always believe in is that I want you to always control your controllables. You're going to hear me say this a million times, okay? When you go to work, work is going to take up the overwhelming majority of your waking hours once you enter into the workforce, okay? You're going to sleep for 7, somewhere between 6 to 8 hours every single night. And then you're going to get up and you're going to go into a job where you're going to work, and you're going to have a boss, okay, that's going to set out a strategy for your career at that point in your career, right? But the problem is that most people only buy in to the strategy that the boss creates. And so most people go into work and they don't even have a strategy for what they want to accomplish in their life. And I can say this because I've experienced this at times in my life where I was just working. I was just getting up and I just looked at it as, hey, I'm just collecting a check. Okay. And when you have that kind of mentality, you don't end up getting anywhere in life. You're not getting anywhere if you have the mentality of, oh, I'm just working this job just to pay bills. Okay. That's not a way I just don't believe that's the way to live. Okay. Now you may have a difference in opinion, and that's fine. That's okay. Okay. But for me, that's definitely not the game plan I'm a part of. Okay. And my thing is if you believe in, if you believe in the idea that you can actually tap into your potential and actually move on to do great things, then I think it all starts with this decision here, which is the decision of firing your boss. Okay. And so as soon as you fire your boss mentally, I'm not telling you to go in and actually say something to quote unquote your boss. What I'm saying is mentally, I want you to say, you know what? You're fired. No longer will you be dictating, okay, what my career path is. Okay. I'm no longer going to look at you as the person that's dictating that. I am reclaiming my power. And from here on out, I'm going to dictate it. Now, once you have fired your boss, then the next step is then you want to look at your relationship with the company as a whole that you are working with as more of a partnership, not a you're my boss situation. Okay. So here's the thing. You got to look at it as a partnership. Okay. And so as a partnership, there are certain things that your partner wants to accomplish with their company. Okay. That you have chosen to partner with. But you want to also make sure that you have your goals and what you're trying to accomplish. And then you want to figure out ways to make what your goals that you want to accomplish align with what you're doing right here, right now in this moment. And sometimes that'll be easy to accomplish. Sometimes it will not be easy to accomplish. And sometimes you may have to stay in a situation that you don't necessarily love being in for a short period of time until you're able to transition to a different situation if that's what's called for. Okay. But the point of this video is it all starts, you tapping into your potential all starts with you firing your boss mentally. Okay. And realizing that no other person should be your quote unquote boss. Okay. You are your boss, are your boss. Okay. You don't go into work every single day because you are trying to, because you're working for them. You're not going to work to work for them and to build their dream. You're going to work. Once you fire your boss, now you're going to work with a completely different purpose. Now you're going to work to build your dream. See, because as soon as you fire your boss, your current boss, and you reclaim that power that you have and you become your own boss and you set your own goals. Okay. Now you have a totally different mindset. Now the way that you approach that same situation is going to be totally different. Okay, because now it can be more of a mutually beneficial situation, as opposed to what I believe the overwhelming majority of people are doing, are just going to work and helping somebody else build their dreams. And it's no wonder why well over 50% of the people that are working on jobs right now do not like what they're doing. Okay, I forgot the exact statistic, but it was a staggering number. It was something I want to say like 75 to 80%. I think it was. Don't quote me there, but I think it's something like 75 to 80% of people dislike the work that they're doing every day. And I think a large part of it is because they have they're going into a job where they have a mentality that somebody is their boss. They're not going in working on their dreams, working on their vision, working on the things that they want to accomplish, their goals. They're going into work just to get a paycheck, just to pay bills. And it's just a matter of time before you get burnt out doing that, right? So do yourself a favor. Fire your boss immediately, okay? Mentally. And again, I'm not saying go in saying, hey, boss, you're fired, man. That's not what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying is mentally fire your boss, reclaim your power, say that, you know what, I'm the boss. I'm the captain of the ship now. You saw Captain Phillips, right? Remember when the guy got on the boat, the pirate jumped on the boat and he looked at Tom Hanks and he said, look at me. Look at me. I'm the boss of this ship now, right? Now, I'm not telling you to take somebody else's boat, but the point is I want you to fire your boss and I want you to go to the mirror and I want you to look at yourself and say, look at me, look at me. I'm the boss of this ship now. Okay. Now, once you have reclaimed your power, okay, once you have made the decision that you are the boss from now on, ain't nobody else the boss, then I want you to start doing what bosses do. Right? And what bosses do is bosses get results. Okay. And the only way you're going to really start getting results is it starts with being great where your feet are. Okay. So one of the things where I think a lot of people tend to mess up when they want to change their life is, number one, they don't make the decision to be the own captain of their own ship. Okay. They don't choose to be their own boss. Okay. That's the first thing. The second big mistake that I see people make is that they don't focus on being great right where they are. They think that greatness is at some other destination, right? So maybe someone hates their job. Maybe you hate your job right now. Okay. And even if you absolutely hate your job, I want you to do this. Once you have fired your boss mentally and you have made the decision that you are not a boss, then I want you to force yourself to be absolutely phenomenal at your job right now. Even if you absolutely hate your job, I want you to focus on being absolutely phenomenal starting right now, right where you are. Okay? Because again, we are creatures of habits. Now that you're your own boss, now what you got to do is you got to start creating the right work habits. Because look, listen, if you're a boss of a sinking boat, right? If you're a boss and of a failing business, you're not going to be a boss very long. Okay, it's guaranteed, right? And so what you got to do is you got to start being great now. Like don't think about changing your environment just yet. Okay, maybe you've already been thinking about it, but even if you've already been thinking about it, I still want you to be absolutely great where your feet are right now. Okay, start focusing on what can you do to be as great as humanly possible at what it is that you're doing now. Okay, in your current situation. The next thing I want you to do, or the third thing I want you to think about, is that I want you to stop playing checkers. Okay, now once you start being great where your feet are, stop playing checkers and start playing chess. And what I mean by that is chess is a game of strategy. Chess, the best chess players in the world are able to think 5 to 10 steps ahead of their opponent, right? They're able to think out 5 to 10 moves ahead when they're playing their opponent, and they're thinking out, okay, if I do this, then this could potentially happen. If I do that, then this could potentially happen. And they're thinking out the moves before they actually execute. And so listen, before you fired your boss, Your boss was the one using the strategy or thinking strategically about what work you can do to help them accomplish their goal. But now that you are your own boss, and now that you are focused on being great where your feet are and you're executing at the highest possible level right now in your present situation, you also need to start thinking, especially on your downtime when you're not currently doing whatever the work is that you're doing. You need to think in your downtime, how can I improve my situation? You need to think out, in chess, they think out 5 to 10 moves ahead. Maybe you need to think out 5 to 10 years ahead. Right. And you need to start asking yourself, what does the ideal future look like? If I want you to imagine, right? You have the power to imagine whatever you want. OK, and I want you to think about, well, imagine what the next 5 years would look like if you were absolutely happy. What would make you happy? What could you be doing from a career perspective that would absolutely be phenomenal for you, that would make you happy, that would make you love and what you're doing and excited about getting up every single day and doing that? Figure out what that is. Okay. Then once you figure out what that is, then I want you to start walking back from that and asking yourself, what needs to take place? What are the things that I need to accomplish in order to get me to that 5-year mark? What must be accomplished over the next 5 years in order for me to successfully get to that space? And once you figure out those things, right, then you're able to start strategically taking actions to get you closer and closer to that goal. Okay. Which brings me to the 4th step. Okay. Please understand this. Listen, even if you fire your boss, okay, even if you focus on being great where you are, even if you stop playing checkers and start playing chess and start thinking strategically, if you are unwilling to take massive, unreasonable amounts of action towards getting to that 5-year mark, and see, look, here's the deal. You're going to get, hopefully, God willing, you're going to get to that 5-year mark anyway. Okay. But the question is, do you have enough discipline to ruthlessly, okay? And when I say ruthlessly, I don't mean taking advantage of anyone or doing anything unlawful, but ruthlessly are you willing to ruthlessly take unreasonable amounts of action towards ensuring that you reach the success that you desire? See, it all boils down to action. We live in a world of cause and effect. Okay. And if you ain't causing stuff out here, I promise you aren't going to affect very much. Okay. And so you got to be willing to take the action. But if you take unreasonable amounts of action and then you constantly focus on getting better and better at it, in due time, you will create the success that you desire. Okay. It's a tried and true formula. Okay. And that's what I would say. Okay. But again, all of this starts, right? The success you desire, it all starts with, first, you have to reclaim your power. Okay. You got to stop having I got a boss mentality. Okay. I'm just going to pick up a check. Somebody else can be the boss and just tell me what. No, you got to stop. You got to start thinking differently. Right. You got to start thinking like a boss. You want to be successful in life. You want to change your situation, improve your situation. You got to start thinking like a boss. Okay. You got to reclaim your power and be a boss, because ain't nobody else going to do it for you. All right. Listen, hopefully you got great value out of this video. If you haven't done so already, I have a new book that I've written called The Ugly Truth About Getting Hired: How to Land the Job of Your Dreams Regardless of the Competition. This is a phenomenal book. It's an easy read. And it is, the first half of the book is all about mastering the mental game of going through the job interview process. The second half of the book is really all about, I literally walk you step by step through the entire job interview process from point A all the way to point Z, and discuss very specific ideas, strategies, and concepts that can help you exponentially improve your odds of having phenomenal success in the job interview process. So if this sounds like something that you'd be interested in learning more about, feel free to go ahead and pick up a copy at www.theuglytruthbook.com. Again, that's www.theuglytruthbook.com. You head over to that website and you can pick up either the physical copy of this book or the ebook version of this book. All right. Again, that's www.theuglytruthbook.com. Thanks for checking out the podcast. Hopefully you got great value, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.